Welcome, my Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your 7-card draw shadow read for this full moon in Sagittarius, your full moon, waning to new in Gemini, May into June 2021. I'm your reader, Angelo Lyons, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons, but you can call me Mal, and I really don't take myself that seriously, but all of that is true, so have at it. Let's talk some business here. We are doing a 7-card draw for you all. 1 card from 7 different decks. We've got 2 tarot, 2 healing systems, and 3 oracles to get you the clues, tips, and hints that you need for a specific timeline. It's not a timeless reading. Boy, am my beautiful curly hair is just stabbing me in the eye there. Oh, summer. Well, we're almost there, right? Frizzies. We're product in my hair right now. We are looking at a specific timeline. We're looking at the full moon in Sagittarius on Wednesday, May 26th, 7:14 a.m. Eastern. I am in New York. That's tomorrow. I'm doing this the day before, getting these done. Hopefully in time. Probably the Aquarius Pisces will hit after that 7:14 a.m. But this is a very interesting read that we're doing here, right? What each one of these decks is going to do is they're going to be the voices of my pantheons of the divine, my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters, and the higher souls of all involved, so that you can get what you need for this waning moon, right? Going to the new moon in Gemini, Thursday, June 10th, 6:53 a.m. So the waning moon, the dissolving, the releasing, the alchemy from lead to gold, lead having 3 more atoms than gold on the periodic table. So since energy and matter can't be created or destroyed, only transformed, that's the shadow work that turns the insulator of lead, right, that energy can't pass through, into the conductor of gold. And gold is a very good conductor, and that's why our cell phones and things are so expensive, because it's gold tips right in there. So you know, perfect time. And I usually do these waning moon reads a little differently. My guides were like, yeah, except like everything is retrograde or going retrograde during this waning moon, particularly Mercury is going retrograde in its sign of Gemini, which is little cuckoo bananas. So a lot of stuff might be coming up and coming back, right, for review, for rethinking and healing. And, you know, we think we know what we need. It's so much easier to just go to the divine, whatever you call, and say, well, I think I know what I need, but what do I need? Show me what I need. Give me tell me, I'll do it, right? And then what we do with that is our choice. This is sort of giving you some clues, tips, and hints. So enough explanation, except to say that all the decks that I read are in the description box at the very, very bottom, with some cool links below on the way down. General YouTube reading rules apply. I will never understand why anybody ever does a thumbs down on any reading on YouTube, because it's a general read. You either don't like what's there, that's true, or you don't get it's not your reading, and you don't like it's your reading. And come on, these people are working hard. I know. These kids are cranking out like 12 readings a day. I'm doing like 2 and taking clients and spiritual counseling people, and that's Drawing the Circle, bringing in new collaborators, writing books. My book, Words of Grace, is now up on Kindle, right? So let's get up in this gig. I'm done explaining that part, right? That's my Virgo sun. Let's do the Pisces moon part. I love this. Please take a nice deep breath. Fuck all of that talking just to get to this first inhale. Yeah, both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace from my pantheons of the divine. And here we go. Breathe in that Sag mutable fire. Here we go. My collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters, general assembly, and the higher selves of all involved. No. Higher selves of all involved. What is the Carolyn Mace archetype card, right? That is dominant in the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I'm watching this video, receiving this reading's energy field, whether it's their own archetype they're alchemizing, maybe they're dealing with it in somebody else, maybe it's a situation that's bringing this out in everybody, right? What's the dominant thing? The alchemy from lead to gold, the shadow work indicator of the soul power going from toxic to healthy. This full moon in Sagittarius, their full moon of the year. Nope. to this new moon in Gemini. Yeah, you wanted me to keep going, although the other archetype that came up was the divine child. I was like, child archetype, let's not go there first. You got the God archetype, so close, right? Upgrade if you want to go there. This is a masculine family archetype. There are 9 families of archetypes. So though there is the divine family archetype, this is not one. This is a masculine family. So this is about yang dynamic. Now, this doesn't mean, you know, you're a biological male. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Maybe you're dealing with a biological male, maybe you're not. Regardless, the shadow and the light on this are pretty freaking intense. It's what she wrote on the card. Carolyn Mace. Her work, Sacred Contracts, unbelievable. This is her deck. The shadow and the light. The lead to the gold. The toxic to the healthy. You get what I'm talking about. The shadow attribute, despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Like that dark god energy, the shadow god. Now there is the dark god in Wicca and paganism. It's totally different. That's element of earth. Not that kind of dark. This is the shadow part of it, right? Really even sometimes behind the scenes, right? That they can be totally manipulating everything pulled back, right? Like from the sky. And we do see that this god figure, I don't know if you could see, is sitting in clouds. This could all be behind the scenes. The light attribute, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal voice? Yeah, the internal voice. Benevolence and corruption, take 2. Recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. And that is unity consciousness. That is God consciousness. If you want to go there, God consciousness, depending on who you're reading, Eastern or Western, right? You take that as that resonates. But this is incredibly powerful for a first card down. So rather than extrapolate too much, let's keep going. That's our first healing system of the 2. Let's get some oracle on the table here. Healing with the Angels Oracle. Please take a nice deep breath. Oh yeah, here we go. My angels and archangels of fire. The Michaelites, the legions of Archangel Michael. Please. 1 card in clarity for the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I'm watching this video, receiving this reading, alchemizing that God archetype from shadow to light. This their Sagittarius full moon, waning to new and gem. That came out fast. The healing angel of healing. We call that a double whammy. So look, this is all happening to help you heal, right? Whatever this is, and again, you could be dealing with somebody who's like really fucking manipulative behind the scenes, acting like a shadow god, or someone who really is in that benevolence and compassion, knows about, recognizes the eternal force. We're all one. We're in any way, shape, or form that they may translate that, and usually most of us are in between. I mean, catch me on a bad day. And by the way, there's a goddess archetype in this deck as well that's just as toxic, but different, right? A different kind of thing there. So what would the healing angel of healing do? Well, maybe it would heal your healing processes if you're doing healing on yourself, right? To really be there to give you everything you need on all, they're telling me all dimensions, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, right? So if you need a book, it'll come to you. If you need to overhear something that's kind of element of air, right? Something pops up, it happens all the time around here, something pops up on my phone or on, in my social media, and there's my answer. It's been happening so much lately, and maybe it's time, because it is retrograde as well, to look at your healing processes. You know, what works when we're kids does not always work when we're adults, right? I mean, as much as I loved Flintstone vitamins, damn, those things were tasty. Now they got gummy everything. It's legal in New York now too. Let's keep going. We're gonna look at the Crystal Oracle. Tony Carmine Salerno, give you a little element of earth here to ground this, because the God archetype, I mean, the God of healing is Apollo. Be careful. You don't want to cross Apollo. He's also known as the bringer of plagues, by the way. Oh, he's so beautiful. Yeah, don't piss him off. Let's see, what is your Crystal Oracle? This is the voice of Archangel Ariel, my own personal archangelic lineage. When you hear the prayer, you might see why, or hear why. Breathe. My beloved Archangel Ariel, please, 1 card in clarity. You are the Archangel, one of the 3 Archangels of the North, powers of Earth, the Archangel of Lyons. Look it up. please, my beloved one card in clarity for the Sagittarian collective. She has a good sense of humor. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I'm watching this video, receiving this read, alchemizing this God archetype with the healing angel of healing that they need. What would be the healing stone? What's written in the book, the stone itself, however that plays itself out for them. This, their full moon in Sagittarius, waning to new in Gemini. Molybdenite. It's such a blowjob word. Molybdenite. You want to see another one? Urban renewal. You get it. Molybdenite. Molybdenite. You know what you need? You need some molybdenite. I'm going to work that into a conversation. Watch me. Oh my God, the first 4 letters are M-O-L-Y, moly, which is the sacred herb snowdrop, created from the blood of Kronos, touching the earth during the Titanomachy. Circe by Madeline Miller. Check it out. Really, really good stuff. Really, really, really. I've listened to it 3-4 times already. Really digging it. Well, she is my matron for the year. Excuse me, I'm having a little trouble with the alphabet here. Molybdenite. Now, if you'd like me to spell it, M-O-L-Y-B-D, that's fun, E-N-I-T, especially if you're into BD. A message from the stars. With what's going on planet Earth right now, why am I not shocked if you don't know what I'm talking about? Buckle up. It's about to get extraterrestrial on planet Earth from what I hear. Your life is always held in perfect equilibrium by the divine natural order that exists within all creation, and that is true. It is all one, right? You want to talk about the eternal force in all things, right? Not just within yourself and others, but within all things. If you think of the divine particle as the quark or the smallest unit of light or energy, whatever you want to call it, right? It's all one thing. We're all one. And so there is the functioning in that and the unfolding of that. And every timeline and every lifetime has already been done. We are viewing what has already gone by. Of course, in miracles, right? So it's all cool, right? Believing that you have somehow failed or made the wrong decision or choice is simply an illusion. This game is on rails, baby. It's just like Mr. Frog's Wild Ride, right? It's like you're not controlling where you're going, but in every moment you get to choose how you want to think about it, feel about it, right? There's nothing you need to change or fix in your life apart from your sometimes unbalanced perceptions. Exactly what I said. Mainly your self-criticism. Know that you are always worthy of love and you are eternally blessed. Start to accept all of who you are as you are, and you will see your life magically and lovingly transform. All is in perfect divine order. And I gotta say, with the God archetype, again, it doesn't matter where your bodily gender is. This is a masculine energy dynamic that is often about taking action or expressing yourself in the world. From a spiritual perspective, there are no mistakes in life. Every experience is a lesson in love and wisdom, and that is absolute truth no matter what it is. But really hard to see here horizontally, I'll give you that, right? So there may be some healing that needs to go on here, maybe between you and what you consider to be God. But that God is also referring to the divine energy within you, but the masculine aspect of it. I hope that makes sense. I mean, Sagittarius is a masculine sign. All the fire and air signs are masculine. The earth and water are the feminine signs. It's just how it's... I didn't make it like that. Maybe I did a couple of 1,000 years ago, whatever. But the molybdenite, right? So this message from the stars, are you kidding me? The celestials here with the healing angel of healing. And this, there is a very, very strong thing going down here. Let's keep going. Let's look at your heart, throat, third eye, crown chakra, the yin, the divine feminine. We'll do that with the daughters of the moon, which represents the divine feminine. It's my goddess deck. And then we'll use the mythic tarot for the masculine. So that should really clarify that God archetype from the outside looking in. I'll explain it when I get there. Breathe. Oh, yes. Oh, okay, they're straightening my spine. Here we go. Lightning rod, Saggies, my goddesses of Fire and the sign of Sagittarius, please. One card in clarity for the Sagittarian Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I'm watching this video, receiving this reading, alchemizing this God archetype with the healing angels of healing and molybdenite. Message from the stars. You can't fuck up the divine plan, but your perceptions are off. You're not, see it from the stars. When they're going to find a piece of molybdenite, I don't know. But to each their own, right? You'll put it in their hands if they need it. So what's going on for them? Heart, third eye, crown, emotional power, willpower, right? Where the energy comes out their mouth, masculine energy, third eye, mental power, and crown chakra, spiritual power, all as one unit. What do they need to be aware of? This, their full moon in Sagittarius, waning to new in Gemini. Don't freak on this, because in this deck it's different than what you usually hear. The Three of Blades is the Three of Swords, and yes, that could certainly be about heartbreak, but I don't think so. This card, the key word written on it is called focus. Here we have a maiden, a mother, and a crone meditating naked out in the desert with a pyramid behind them on one side and a sphinx on the other, talking about focus and mystery. There probably are some unknown elements going on here, and they are asking you to what? Focus on what? Healing your perceptions so that this alchemy can take place. Look, we don't always see things clearly. We have so much conditioning literally written into our bodies before we ever incarnate, right? Ancestral patterns, you hear about that stuff, right? What about just the toxicity and the behaviors of anyone around you, regardless of like genetic connection or not, right? In school, right? All of that stuff that we take on. You know, and when we don't know what the answer is, when are we ever really rewarded? You know, when are we ever, when is it, oh, you don't know the answer, oh, it's okay. No, right? It's like, oh no, I screwed up, I messed up, right? And if that goes down to you holding the idea that you are sinful in some way, shape, or form because of some action that you took, perhaps you were deceptive, cruel, or using your power to control people. Who the fuck hasn't? In this life or any other, it's part of an alchemical thing. In other words, molybdenite is saying it's part of the divine plan. You did not choose this lifetime. I didn't choose this lifetime. I wanted to come back and play the game. And they said, oh, have we got a role for you? Mark, Angelo, Lyons, Mal for short, blah, 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 right? Well, you know, and here I was beating hell and myself, why did I choose this? You didn't, right? It's like a personal trainer said, today's glutes. You're going to squat. Can't believe I just Bob's burgered us in the middle of a rather intense read with the God archetype. But let's keep going. Oh God, what's that actor's name? Oh, she was Karen on Will and Grace. I love her. Megan Mullally. Thank you, Carrie Fisher. Wow. Let's see what's going on the outside here. The Mythic Tarot. I love it. It's all Greek myth. It's kind of my first language. You can't, oh yeah. Hi, Diana. They've got Wonder Woman's all over the house. So this is either you from the outside looking in or some aspect of the physical part of this that would impact you in your lower three chakras, root, sacrum, solar plexus. So you could say this is your 8th chakra, this is your heart, third eye crown, and this is from the outside looking in. Breathe. Both feet on the floor, Mark. Oh, okay, here we go. Lightning rod, oh, my gods of fire and the sign of Sagittarius, please. We'll see if it comes up again. One card in clarity. The Ouroboros, please, one card in clarity for the Sagittarian Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I'm watching this video, receiving this reading, alchemizing the God archetype from shadow to light, lead to gold with the healing angel of healing. If they call upon it, you have to, that's your part. With molybdenite, whether you get a piece or not. It's that message of the stars, right? That there is a message from the stars that must be very, very hard to anchor, to hold on to, that kind of God energy. This definitely feels lightning rod-ish, right? It's going to, you could get hematite. With this Three of Blades on the inner, yes, there might be a sharp pain, so to speak, but it's an air card. This is about focus. This is about mystery. This is about really getting to the heart of the matter, which makes more sense for the Three of Swords and every other tarot deck on planet Earth. So please, my gods of Sag. What do they need to be aware of? Root, sacrum, solar plexus. This, their full moon in Sagittarius, waning to new. In Gemini, 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords, kind of a stalemate energy there, stuck between a rock and a hard place mentally. There might very well be an ethical challenge here. See, because we got, I think this is Orestes, we got the Furies on one side and Apollo on the other. You really don't want to get caught between those two. Wasn't I just talking about Apollo? Yeah, the god of plagues, right? Here he is, Eight of Swords. Now, this is usually considered blindfolded and bound, right? Bound to your thoughts. Not so much the Nine of Swords, which is getting closer to that completion of the full cycle of air. But this is perhaps being, like, the word that I've heard this called is looping, right? Where it's the same thoughts going around, same patterns. And you need to know you're not your thoughts. You're not your thoughts. We're not our thoughts. We're not our desires. We are not our emotions. We are not our body. We are spirit. I mean, it's the pentacle, right? Fire, earth, air, water, spirit, if you want to go there. I don't leave home without one. My grapevine pentacle to Dionysus, right? No, we are spirit that takes on the. There are no private thoughts. All thoughts are electromagnetic wavelengths in the air, and we receive them like a radio. All right, a cell phone, especially if you're clairvoyant, you get full-blown images. So there's a lot of air. There's a lot of thinking here. Now I'm just going to say, the 8 with the 3 there, yes, is an 11. Blah blah blah. But there is definitely whatever is going on the outside. Not only is it conflicting thought, it's kind of almost really hard for you to get it out of your head because there's something, it's not resolved on the outside, right? So there's this overthinking. Now I will tell you, Matt Kahn, his healing mantra deck is next. In his book, Everything is Here to Help You, he says that overthinking, particularly, this will make sense in a moment, overthinking, think of it as an alarm telling you that your heart's not open. So then what's this 3 of Swords? Focus in your heart, right? Open up that love, that compassion, that benevolence. Start with yourself, right? Start with yourself saying, honey, we're healing, right? Healing's not pretty. So let's just allow whatever feelings that we have. Let's give ourselves the love that only we can give us, right? I don't know necessarily this is a soul contract thing. This could just be all about you. But of course, the other people involved then are players in this holographic drama for the evolution of your soul. Let's ask the Ascended Masters. Please take a nice deep breath. Matt Kahn Healing Mantra Deck, please, my Ascended Masters. My Ascended Masters of Healing, I'm going to say, because the Healing Angel from the Michaelites is on the table. And this is shadow work, so please, my Ascended Masters of Healing, one card in clarity for the Sagittarian Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading, alchemizing the God archetype from shadow to light with the Healing Angel of Healing, molybdenite, message from the stars, 3 of Blades, getting to the heart of the matter, maybe focusing on the heart, with this 8 of Swords just round and around and around and around, because not all the information is on the table there, so there's a lot of overthinking and a lot of mental looping. What is the perfect healing mantra for them to help them heal this and do the shadow work indicated here? Excuse me, this, there's Sagittarius full moon, waning to new. And Gemini, I'm going to tell you right now, I was not coughing all day long, and pollen's a little nuts out there. I'm not usually allergic, but when there's a lot, how can it not? And I was just doing Wim Hof breath outside. I do it before every reading, pretty much. When something is coughing up while I'm doing a reading, it's usually something needs to be said. So let's see what this says. Transforming tragedy. Scorpio got this. I know Scorpio got this. Where are you? Right, because it was Scorpio. Transforming tragedy. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. Now, I will tell you, there is a dear friend of mine who is a Sagittarius with a Sagittarius sun and a Sag moon who just had somebody close to her in her life die yesterday. So this transforming tragedy seems to be apt. I have to say, my readings for general readings have been really spot on, and it still shocks me, right? Even when I watch another reader. Southern Strega, Scorched Earth. Who else do I love? There are a bunch of them that I love. Oh, Real Housewives of Tarot. I love her. I want to get drunk with all of them. With Dionysus. So look, let's see if we can lighten the load here a little bit, because the God part of it, and look, everybody needs to grieve how they need to grieve, right? No question. I'm a spiritual counselor. I was a minister for decades. I know. I've been there. I've been bedside. I've crossed people over. I've helped the family mourn afterwards. Everybody's at their own pace there. But this God archetype has got to be about you then. That it's like really recognizing the eternal nature in all of us. That eternal doesn't mean all of time. It means timeless. It means deathless. A Course in Miracles, man. I'm a student. I'm a witch who does A Course in Miracles because I like pissing people off on both sides of that aisle, right? You are not a body. You are free. You are still as the gods created thee. I paganize the crap out of it. Every time I see him, I say her. Every time I see God, I say goddess. And it really works for me. Hey, and if that works for you, give it a shot, right? Just change some pronouns there. Because when you say, I am as the mother created me, it's like, right? If you're a goddess worshiper. Let me read you this worshiper. She's us. Transforming tragedy. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. And look at the loss we've all gone through. So this is not all necessarily about death, right? It can be any kind of loss. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. And I have to say, transforming tragedy is perfect for a waning moon. When tragedy is transformed, you see that endings foreshadow the inevitable arrival of exciting new beginnings. Just like around here, we know February's cold, right? It's winter, but that spring is around the corner. It's part of the cycle. It may not feel good to lose the things that once defined you, which indicates an unhealthy attachment, by the way, but it is life's way of expanding your identity to invite more passion, joy, and synchronicity into your reality. As you transform tragedy, any degree of loss merely sets the stage for the arrival of greater gains. And they're telling me to highlight this. As you transform tragedy, any degree of loss sets the stage. So, for some people, you could look at their loss and go, well, not a big deal. It's just not a big deal to you, right? And vice versa. So don't do that to yourself. Like, no, this is a big loss. This is a little loss. The 4 ego wounds, abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss. Maybe you were abused, maybe you weren't. I did this for Scorpio. Maybe you were neglected, maybe you weren't. Maybe you were in codependent patterning since birth, maybe you weren't. I want to meet this person who never had those. I just wonder what they're like, because I don't know anybody like that. But the wounds of loss everybody has, because it's just written into how this game is played. So let me get you this last little bit here. This mantra is ideal for overcoming personal struggles. Mourning the death of a loved one could not be more accurate for my friend, and releasing regret, right? Because it's all part of the divine plan. You didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. It's from that perspective. That doesn't mean you get to acknowledge how you feel about that. But if that's what you're looping about, get into this heart. Get into this, right? Let's just say it again. Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others, but that's not done in an instant. Do it over a 2-week period. Cast for it. When the moon rides at her peak, then ye heart's desire seek. Use this, your full moon, to say, I want this, right? And this is the mantra that will help you through. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. Last card down. Our last oracle, right? Matt Kahn was the second healing system. Whispers of Love. This is the party turner, which is why they make it last. Whispers of Love Oracle. I love this deck, but you just, all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's what we're dealing with. Please take a nice deep breath. Because why wouldn't the higher selves of all involved, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, have a piece of information, inspiration, or insight for this Sagittarius collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading that they had no idea about. They had no idea about. Or maybe they already do. So please them, those very higher selves, 5th dimension and above, 8th chakra and above, for the Sagittarian collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign watching this video, receiving this reading. What's a piece of information, inspiration, or insight that they need to alchemize this God archetype? From despotism and cruelty, using power to control people, into the gold and the light of benevolence and compassion. recognizing the eternal force within themselves and others, with the healing angel of healing that they need to call in with molybdenite to get that there is a message, a point of view from the stars, right? That you can't fuck it up. You didn't do anything wrong. Nobody has. See it from the larger picture. Focus to get to the heart of the matter within yourself. Open that heart. Cry your eyes out over this loss as needed. Open your heart. Don't overthink this. You can overthink it, but think of it as an alarm. When it starts to loop, go, okay, I need to step back. Put your hand on your heart and say, it's okay, baby. It's okay. It's okay if we're feeling it. It's time to feel it. So you want to go in the bathroom, lock the door. We can do that, right? Teach that child that is your heart chakra how much you love them, right? So please, I'm getting this message loud and clear. What you got for them this their full moon in Sag, waning to new moon in Gemini, because this is important. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. There it is. There it is. Because once you get the eternal nature of it all, and not just a concept, but when you incarnate it in the heart and you feel unity consciousness, it really does make all the difference in the world, because it's just like baby teeth coming out, right? The adult tooth will come underneath, except there's always more teeth, like sharks, I guess. You know what I mean? It's bad metaphor, bad metaphor, bad metaphor, down boy, down. But to say that this is really about forgiveness, your own higher self says nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments, which usually can come from loss. A loss of a friendship, a loss of a beloved one, distance, what is it? Divorce, death, or distance are the way they say. That's how relationships end, right? Like, so if it's not through divorce, and friends divorce, right? Distance, which is the worst to me because you're right next to each other, but a million miles away, that's one of the versions. Or death, and that all of these things are inevitable, but seen from a different place. The soul sees it different than your personality and your ego. So let me put this together for you. Please take a nice deep breath. These readings this past month, particularly the True Love reads, which I'm going to do once this series is done. I may take full moon Wednesday or Thursday off. We'll see. Breathe. My collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters, and the higher selves of all involved, please, may the Sagittarian collective, sun, moon, rising, Venus, I'm watching this video, receiving this reading, be blessed with all that they need, this their full moon in Sagittarius, waning to new in Gemini, that they may really hear the message of their higher selves, that forgiveness is available here for themselves. Make the prayer, help me perceive forgiveness as it is, not what you were taught. I want to perceive forgiveness as it is, so that tragedy can be transformed here, loss being their reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received, really focusing in their internal world, not just their mind, but getting to the heart of their matter, heart of the matter, where they can really experience this message from the stars viscerally, emotionally, not just purely in the third eye, and calling on the healing angel of healing, maybe to even help them heal their own stratagems and protocols and modalities of healing, maybe give them new healing, completely upgrade, to kind of deal with this looping thought of this situation that they're in, where there's something missing here. There's something missing in the 8, and the mind fuckery that's going on here, not just with them, but whoever else is involved here. The sword of Michael needs to come in and cut through that illusion, so that they may they please alchemize for themselves this God archetype in their masculine energy, the shadow attribute, despotism, and cruelty, using their power to control people into that benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within themselves and everyone else involved, which would by definition cancel out the desire for despotism, cruelty, or controlling others. Because when your heart is open, love is divine power, and that put into form. In form is benevolence and compassion, and namaste, 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 the divinity within me, the eternal within me, bows down to the eternal in them for their well-being, and how could it not be anything else for the well-being of all of life and all concerned. So motivate. Whew, and so it is. Wow, I'm taking a nap after this one, and it's only my first read of the day. Got a lot on the agenda today. But, you know, we are building to that full moon, so I'm sure we'll be fine after a nap and a cup of coffee. Look, if you liked it, like it, want more, subscribe, comment, share, all the YouTube-y stuff if you so care to. Want to check out my book, Words of Grace? Link in the description box takes you right to Kindle. You don't even need Kindle. There's a free Kindle app. Who knew? I just found that out. Otherwise, you want to book me for a reading, easy as pie to do. Find me on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. All my deets are in the bottom below. Sorry, in the description box. Let's leave the bottom out of this at the moment he's not here. I'm the fun one. And find me. We'll book something. We can do Zoom stuff where you can record it, or I can certainly do it. My favorite, honestly, is a Facebook Messenger video call. You can't record it with quality. Virgo. Otherwise, wishing you all the very best. Clavicle, and the very blessed of this full moon in Sagittarius, your full moon waning to new in Gemini. My honor, my pleasure, and I love you. Hang in there. Hail, farewell, and blessed be.